representing Canada, Felix Auger-Aliassime. And his opponent, representing the USA, Fritz.
Well, 2024 was a career best season for Taylor Fritz. He saw himself compete in a Grand Slam final for the first time at his home major in the US Open. And that man alongside him there is Mike Russell, his coach, was voted ATP Coach of the Year this season. He's been flying the flag for American tennis, and they've got a good bunch at the moment. A few missing out this week. The likes of Tommy Paul, Francis Tiafoe, not able to make it into the United Cup team because of this guy. Somebody who has made it into the commentary team, and his first pick is John Fitzgerald. Good evening, Fitzy.
Robbie, why do you always bring a smile to my face? Good to see you, as always. And yeah, this is probably the match we've been waiting for on the men's side of the United Cup over the last 3 days, more than any other. I mean, we get to see Taylor Fritz for the first time. This man is a huge, exciting prospect still, even though he's been around a while. He's 24, but Taylor, what a year. He's not afraid to do some travelling, this guy, is he? And he's number 4. At the top of his powers so far.
Coin toss. And then we're going to do a picture. We're going to do a picture facing the other way. Just wait. Let me talk to them, and then we can do it. How does that sound? Yeah. So you've got the towel boxes in the corners. 25 seconds automatically. Automatic line calling. And do you have any questions about anything? No, the ball kids aren't. So you can either go to the box yourself, or we have the people in the blue shirts. You can put the towel in their basket and they'll bring it out to you. Okay. All right? Wait 1 second. Felix, you want heads or tails? All right, heads is AO. Right, Hugo, go for it. You can do it now. Perfect, mate. Okay, your choice. You're going to serve, you're going to stay. So just face that way, Hugo. Stand in the middle of the boys. There we go. And then look up over to the camera.
Hugo's pretty excited. Why wouldn't you be?
Good on him.
And no hesitation from Felix. Wins the toss and has decided that he will serve first. And I tell you what, he'll enjoy these conditions, Fitzy, because the roof is closed, and there's no question that this guy plays his best tennis with a roof over his head.
Well, why wouldn't he? It can be a cold place up there in Canada during the winter.
It certainly can be. And I mean, he's been around forever, and he's just 24 years young. He was winning matches at Challengers when he was 14. He was already physically so advanced, and it served him well. But of course, it's one thing being able to move through the ranks, but when you get to the very sharp end of the sport, you need nuance.
You do. Incrementally improve at that stage, don't you, just to try to get to the top of the tree. But look, it worries me a bit. I haven't seen a lot of improvement in him in the last few years. And, you know, I would say 3 years ago he was probably playing his best tennis. So his rankings dropped a little bit. He's you know, not as young as he was. He's still only 24 years of age. However, I want to see him come through more often, Felix Auger-Aliassime, because his athleticism and ball striking deserves it. I'm not sure about some of the other parts of his game, though.
3 minutes.
Currently ranked 29 in the world. That's our host, the RAC Arena, and it is nice and full. The biggest crowd that we've had in the opening 3 days. And when the draw came out, it certainly was one of the matchups that drew our eyes in. two players with plenty of firepower, and they know each other quite well. But after what we saw in the opening match from Felix, we saw so much good stuff against Borna Coric. Keep in mind that he has played a match already. He was literally blowing Borna off the court. He was up a set and 2 love. He was up 4-2, and he had that short backhand of 15-30, a short forehand, didn't he?
2 minutes.
Yeah, it was an easy one. He should have put that away. Easier said than done, but it was a simple forehand by his standards. And then his game started to chop and change, and it fell away at the end. You know, I looked at his ranking, Robbie, after the first set in 2 games, and I thought, how can this guy be ranked 29 in the world? And then at the end of the match, I understood. Yep. Because he faded badly. So I just want him to maintain his standard and show us what he can really do, Felix.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I'm glad to say that we've got team captain, coach of 2024, Mike Russell, on the mic. First of all, Mikey, it's great to have you. Thanks for talking to us. Why has Taylor played so well this year? What's been the key ingredients?
Thanks, Robbie. Yeah, he's just been really consistent with his average level every tournament. He's faster, he's more explosive, trying to do
1 minute.
A little more transition, come forward, and you know that has given him more confidence.
And tell me, when you've got weapons as well, how do you not neglect those weapons, but of course still work on your deficiencies? How do you find that balance?
Yeah, I mean, we call it micro-dosing. So, I mean, the season's obviously incredibly long.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you know,
Team Canada won the
5, 10, 15 minutes here or there to work on transition, coming forward. It just, you know, really pays dividends, as we always like to say, going forward
30 seconds.
Throughout the year.
You know, Mike, John Fitzgerald here. Good to see you down under again, Mike. You bring a smile to all of our faces. I noticed the modesty's still there. Just like when you were a player, you're not taking any credit for last year. You're giving it all to the player. Take some credit, will you?
Thanks, John. Happy birthday yesterday, too, by the way.
Thank you, mate.
But yeah, no, I mean, we've worked really hard on his fitness and coming forward more and just being more consistent with serving and staying in matches. You know, obviously you're not going to play your best tennis every week, but finding ways to win.
Oh, thanks very much for your time, Mike. It's always nice to get the insights, and best of luck for the season ahead.
Thanks, Robbie. Thanks, John.
Keep it going, Mike.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Is he one of the best guys you've met on the tennis tour?
I'd say he's one of the fittest still.
Mate, I saw him in the elevator yesterday. His short sleeve shirt, you know, well, it was shorter than that, and I reckon he can crack almonds in those biceps with it.
Oh, no kidding. So we're all set. 2023 United Cup champions USA taking on the neighbours north of the border in Team Canada. I tell you what, we're guaranteed plenty of fireworks in 2 days' time, Fitzy, but tonight there will be ample supply with plenty of pyrotechnics from these two. So let the battle begin. Canada playing their second match. It's the first for the Americans.
Ready. Play. Lovely.
Mentioned that these two have played on 2 previous occasions. And they've both been tight encounters going the distance. They played at the ATP Cup in early start of the year. I think it was the first match of the year, if memory serves, for Taylor. He won that one 6-4 in the third. And later on in the year at the Nito ATP Finals. How about that? And again, Taylor came out on top, 6-2 in the third. And over those 6 sets of tennis, Fitzy, I was just doing some deep diving. In fact, Felix didn't break Taylor at all. He had 1 break point in Australia at the beginning of the year and 3 in Turin.
Well, it's a worry if you haven't broken a guy's serve in 2 matches, as well as Taylor Fritz does serve.
Yep.
It's tough to win too many matches if you're not breaking a little bit. So an early opportunity now for Taylor Fritz against the Auger-Aliassime serve.
And a nervy start. And the US Open finalist from this year gets the early break. Speaking of US Open finalists, of course, we've got Mark Philippoussis in our team.
Robbie, Fitzy, wow, what a great atmosphere. It's almost a packed house, and tell you what, Fritz doesn't look like the guy who hasn't played a match yet. That was a very solid first game, and he's ready to go. And let me tell you, man, he is looking good.
You know, Flip, not only is it a good atmosphere out here, that was a good introduction for you, huh?
Amazing.
US Open finalist, Wimbledon finalist.
Yeah. Proper player.
They were the days.
Proper player.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing. If you hadn't broken Taylor Fitz in two matches prior to this, and you lose your opening serve in this match, that doesn't do a lot for your confidence.
No, it doesn't. And
Taylor Fritz, representing Team USA to serve.
Yes, a little bit more to discuss as well about the return of Felix in those 2 matches. And that's to do with the second serve. Really making a definitive move backwards here.
Well, that's the level of tennis you need to play if you're going to beat Taylor Fritz from the back of the court. And, you know, the enigma for me about Felix sometimes is that out of nowhere he will miss an easy ball. And if you're going to play predominantly from the back of the court, you need to be rock solid in this modern game to be up near the top of the rankings. And there's something there that I don't know why he misses some of these shots. He played a great point in the opening one. But if you watch Taylor, he will generally only miss if he's pressured into missing, whereas Felix can give you some free points, and surely that costs you matches.
And that's what Mike Russell was talking about. That base level of play this year from Taylor has been outstanding. Australian Open quarterfinals. Second major of the year. His least preferred service. Made the round of 16 at Roland Garros. Quarterfinals at Wimbledon. Finals at the US Open. That's a pretty good CV at the majors this year for the American.
It sure is.
Let's not forget how he finished the season.
14-15.
Finals of the tour finals. Lost to Jannik Sinner, both at the US Open and in Turin. I love this guy's serve. I want to get your thoughts on it as well, Mark. I love the simplicity of it.
Game, Team USA.
easy power, isn't it?
Team USA lead 2 games to love.
Yeah, it's a unique serving style. Very simple, but I love his ball toss. With that ball toss, he can go anywhere. He goes flat down the tee. He can go into the body. He can go out wide. He uses his frame, a lot of knee bend, and extends and jumps into that, and just great racket head work all the way through the body.
Sort of a delayed right arm, isn't it? I mean, it's not like some of the great service. I mean, the ball toss goes up, the right arm's delayed. It's an interesting action for me.
I love it. The greatest server had that massive delay, right? Your friend. Pistol. Very delayed right arm. Left arm leads.
You're talking about Pete Sampras,
Yes.
Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the best serve I've seen live in my lifetime.
Yeah,
I know
too.
there's been some great ones, and you know there'll be some debate on that, but I think his second serve in particular was the best that I've seen.
You know, I think there's a few similarities.
I hope he's watching. We miss him in Australia, Pete Sampras.
Oh, we do.
So sorry, Robbie, if Felix is going to hit that backhand up the line there, he's got to do more with it, because that's a shot where you can hurt an opponent rather than a rally ball. As soon as he hit it there, and it was in easy reach for Fritz's forehand, he was in trouble. This ball there, it's not enough, and it's the wrong shot to hit. Now he's in trouble. Go back across court until you get a chance to hurt the opposition with that backhand down the line. Well, he served well yesterday until he got 6-love, 2-love, and then didn't serve quite as well. But yesterday it was pretty awesome for about 8 or 10 games.
Lovely ground reaction force off the serve. You can see how he drives with the legs into the court. That helps to propel him upwards. And upwards and onwards now for Felix as he gets his first game on the board. But Fritz, a break early for Team USA.
Return.
Yeah, exactly. As he hit the line on the serve.
Well, there's so many beautiful beaches, so many beautiful vistas to see in this place. This is Esperanza. Four-wheel drive adventures on the beach. So much stunning scenery. Look at that ocean. It's a good drive. It's in Western Australia, but it's about 700 kilometers southeast of Perth. Maybe a 7 or 8 hour drive. But I tell you what, Fitzy, when you get there, you're in heaven.
My father was a wheat farmer, Robbie, and before I was born, he nearly moved to Esperance.
Wow.
I would have been a Western Australian instead of a South Australian. But I've got a good friend I went to school with who moved to Esperance, and what a beautiful place that is.
But also, like, my lifted forehand, like changing front, like me going forehand line, is going to bother him. That ball is going to bother him more than like.
Of course, that man just behind Taylor in the head.
So if I go across and he was back on
Wolfie, his physio, who does so many weeks with him. He's almost more important than Mike Russell. They're a dynamic duo, the two of them. It keeps Taylor's body in good working order. In fact, Wolfie is an Australian. Spends a lot of time in Arizona now. That's been his home for many, many years. And he is a very important member of the team. And as you mentioned at the start, Taylor likes to play a lot of weeks.
Love 15. All.
A world-class forehand. I find him an interesting case study, Taylor. Fritz, he's such a big body. You know, he's a modern tennis player's body, isn't he? Sits 6'5", around there, give or take.
Yep.
Big serve, but the forehand is really, really good. He doesn't miss much. He really doesn't. I mean, it's
40-50.
From the back of the court, you know, I expect the shorter athletes to be, you know, sort of more dour. They miss less. They get their feet into position more. But he does it as a big athlete. And in some ways, he looks really lanky, but he's always in position. And, gee, he doesn't miss much from the back.
Game, Team USA.
What a start. This guy's been red hot. Plenty for
Team USA.
Auger-Aliassime to think about, but probably a good time just to head down to the Team Canada bench where Mark Philippoussis is going to have a chat with a Benjamin Seguin.
Hey, Benjamin, thank you for your time. It's a little slow start here compared to the other match you originally had, Felix, but it's a tough team in the States here with Coco and you know, Taylor. But what would you like to see Felix doing, maybe try and turn this match around?
I think the most important thing would be just the belief. You know, I think he can compete with anyone in this event, and I just think want him to stay positive and just believe that he can get it done tonight.
How was he feeling after the first one? Because it's always a tough one, you know, especially leading the way he was. You talk about belief. Was he was he hard on himself, or was he kind of forgotten about it and rebounding? You guys ended up winning the tie, which was the mixed doubles, which was fantastic. But is he just was he a little down as far as confidence right now?
Honestly, I think he got over it pretty quickly. I think playing the mixed doubles right after helped a lot. Just, you know, not to dwell on the result, but he responded really well, and he was in good spirits this morning.
Well, you guys always have really positive box as far as Team Canada. You seem like you're always having fun, and I guess that's an important part of trying to get each other through these matches, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're all really happy to be here and representing Canada, and hopefully do as best as we can.
Benjamin, thank you for your time, man, and good luck with the rest.
Thank you.
15 all.
That's where you've got to try and outmaneuver Fritz. It's not easy because he hits with such good depth to get him moving and stretching. His movement is not as dynamic as some of the other top 10 players, but it's not easy to get him at his extremities.
Moving and stretching and changing directions too, yeah. Robbie. I think that'd be the plan.
Out. 30-15.
I do wonder, Fitzy, given that as a youngster he was very lanky. You'll remember his dad guy, Fritz, pretty well. Very tall. And I wonder if the lankiness as a youngster really helped him with his ball striking. Because he wasn't as quick as some of the other youngsters, he knew he had to hit good, deep, penetrating shots. Otherwise, he'd be in trouble. Comes from a tennis family, of course. Mum Kathy May was a former top 10 WTA player. Technically, he's been coached well. You can see that in his ground strokes. The serve is stunning. I love it. Love its simplicity. I love its effectiveness.
I think you and I love most of these modern serves, Robbie. We keep comparing them to ours way back. If I may put you in my category there, like
definitely not.
Yeah, it wasn't my strength, I know that.
Juice. Advantage, Team Canada.
Yeah, well, the serve is the most important thing there. It sets up this easy forehand. Still got to make it. Great preparation there.
Second serve. Game, Team Canada.
Okay. Auger-Aliassime starting to settle into this match.
The USA lead 3 games.
Still down our early break.
Hit it well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, people break. I thought it's good to like throw one of these in. So it's fine. Because normally I want to go across something.
And the love 15 point, you played a good point construction.
Yeah, that 4 week was poor.
The point construction is good.
So, good conversation there between Mike Russell and Taylor. And he doesn't talk too much, does he, Mike? Just when he needs to, when he senses the right time. But he gives his player information. You see a little less at this end. I'm a bit, don't quite understand that. Generally.
On sait ce que c'est, mais genre c'est dur à gérer. Parce que tout a mal, tu vois.
Felix has just been over to speak to the chair umpire. I hope everything's okay with him.
Yeah, so do I.
C'est comme à balle et tout, c'est la même chose.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the physiotherapist has been called to court.
Well, chair umpire Richard Haig has just called for the physio. We saw at the change of ends Felix go up to the chair and say something to Rich. Fingers crossed, it's nothing too serious, but...
Dans le fond de cours, après, ouais, j'en ai une, puis sinon je les envoie, mais mon feeling, c'est que... Parce que la balle, c'est humide, mais ça part bien quand même, quoi.
Parlez-vous français?
No. I need my daughter here, Robbie.
Okay.
But yeah, he didn't. There's something wrong physically, I would say here.
Will this be such a shame? because beginning of this year when he played in the United Cup, remember, he was plagued with that knee problem. I think he played maybe one match, if memory serves. Early part of his season was really hampered because of that knee injury.
Did you guys happen to pick up anything as far as movement during the points? Or
I didn't. No. I mean, he moved well to get to that short forehand, didn't he? A good serve and then followed it up beautifully. But he...
when he was talking to his coach, I wasn't sure if he was holding, he had his hands around his hips when he was saying something, something on his hip. I'm not sure. Obviously, we'll see what there might be now. He's pointing to.
So he's asked for some pain relief, hasn't he? Previous inflammation, he said. We're just not sure where.
Jack, did you hear the word sharp pain? That's never good.
Lower back. Mark thinks maybe around the hip area.
Ladies and gentlemen, Team Canada are now receiving a medical timeout.
Yeah, so lower back. Yeah, if there's sharp pain there, that's, well, that can be a significant problem. Certainly in the context of this match to start with.
Sure if it was that combination of shots that have tweaked the upper back.
It's a pretty normal combination of shots, though, isn't it? The first serve and then a forehand. That's how most points are played.
I thought he said on the previous game when he was moving up, running to a shot, there was a sharp pain. And he was talking to the trainer. I'm not sure what that point was.
It sounds like there was something pre-existing too there, Mark. He mentioned inflammation. Nevertheless, one way or the other, he's got an injury timeout, so there's something, and that doesn't bode well.
Yeah, I thought he might have played one match last year, but he didn't. Just checking the results. In fact, he did. That's right. I saw him in the mixed doubles. My memory was right against the Greeks. It was the only match that he tried out last year because of knee problems. It would be just so tragic if he picks up an injury at the early stages of this United Cup, because his coach was telling me he's been practicing so well. We saw so much evidence of that in the opening set and a half against Borna. He's been practicing really well. He was excited. Knee hasn't been bothering him, Fitzy, which has been a real thorn in his side for a long time. So much hope at the start of the new season, isn't there?
There is.
We've done all the preparation for it.
Yeah, it's an exciting time generally because everyone's living in hope for a really good year and looking forward to it. A lot of the Northern Hemisphere players come down to the summer.
Yes.
Get out of the cold, and so it's an exciting time. But this is not a good start for Felix.
I'm always amazed when you see an athlete like him. He just looks so strong and so well proportioned. You wonder how a body like that could break down. The muscles would have to be so strong, right? How do those things ever get injured?
It's been a pretty long break too. I just wonder how long it has been. There's a finite time they can take as an injury timeout.
Time.
Yeah, assessment period, which is almost indefinite. And then, of course, you get the 3 minutes. And I think it's delayed because it happened at the back end of the change of ends, so it's elongated. This wait.
Taylor will be cold before he serves again. Got to be a bit careful of that. Big crowd tonight, Robbie. How good's that?
Oh, it's the best.
Do you think Coco had a lot to do with that?
Absolutely. Now you've got 4 well-known players playing this evening. Leylah Fernandez, of course, a US Open finalist as well. Coco, a US Open champion.
That's a good sign, though. He was quick. He had a quick first step there, didn't he, to get to that wide forehand?
That's a nice wide serve, 175, but Felix takes a huge cut at those returns, doesn't he, guys? Doesn't have a lot of time, but boy, does he have a good swing at it. Sure, it might be better just to turn the shoulders and block some of those back.
Frustration there when he wasn't in position to hit that backhand early enough, so he mishit it and it looped long, and then he showed his disgust by slamming a ball into the ground before the net. He's frustrated.
Oh, that's how good it's got to be.
I wonder if any bit of that frustration is not so much also about the backhand, but about what he's feeling physically in that back as well.
Exactly. See, I actually like that from a player at times. Some of them just trade ground strokes, so many of them at the same pace. No variety. I think sometimes a change-up's good from a baseliner.
Advantage, Team USA.
I love the subtlety there from Fritz. We speak about him being a big ball striker, but when he needed to improvise, did it well. I think the nuances improved in his game.
Juice.
Taylor just losing a little bit of focus now in this game. It's, you know, can happen when you wait a few minutes like that, just overplaying some shots right now, but
advantage. Well, Team USA.
Missed an opportunity there to make a spectacular running forehand. Taylor Fritz hit it right into his zone, but it was just a bit too quick.
Game, Team USA. Team USA leads 4 games to 2.
Sure what Fritz was saying either to the chair umpire or towards his camp. He seemed pretty happy with the situation. Backhand to backhand. Comfortable in that exchange. Leaking a few too many unforced errors off his backhand wing is Felix.
Love.
well, good signs for Felix. I mean, I didn't see anything that last return of service game, and I was thinking, let's wait and see what happens when he serves, but that was a over 208 kilometers an hour serve, so back mustn't be that bad, so that's a good sign.
Very clean, very clean. Fitzy, I was just looking back when he won that set in their most recent encounter at the ATP finals, when Felix won the second set. He had to hit 20 winners.
Right. And he had to win it in a tiebreaker too, because he didn't break his serve.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's how well he had to play just to win it 7-6. Just a handful of unforced errors. That's how clean the set had to be.
Gee, these ground strokes they're top-notch, aren't they, from Taylor Fritz? Easy power. He structures his points simply but well too, Taylor. Uses the backhand a lot of the time to get to his forehand. And then he's versatile on that wing. And the other strength is he can hit a cold winner off the backhand down the line as well. That shot's a good one as well.
40-15. Team Canada.
So after the initial break of serve in his opening service game, Felix has responded well.
Team USA lead 4 games to 3.
I think that chat with the chair
Parce qu'en général, je le laisse aller le long ligne en revers avant moi. Moi, j'essaie d'y aller avant quand je suis bien.
Ce que je vois là, c'est qu'il ne fait pas grand-chose avec son revers. Tiens ta diagonale revers. Tiens ta diagonale revers. Ça, c'est important, soit plat, soit en slice. Parce qu'il ne fait rien que toi. Il va aller de temps en temps long ligne, mais c'est pas grave, tu sais que tu peux pouvoir ça. Toi, dans ton schéma, la diagonale revers, et à mon lieu, tu vas avoir l'opportunité de faire mal avec ton coup droit. Toi, tu peux faire mal de l'autre côté. Inside out, inside in. Lui, tu sais, il va là. Si il il va axer la croisée, sinon il fait plus lentement quand il va faire ça c'est son schéma. Et là, il te tient comme toi, sa solidité, c'est un gamin qui la tient, avec la variété slice. C'est que s'il a le temps.
Mais sur mes slices, pour l'instant, il prend des coups droits, quoi, à chaque fois.
Et tu sais que tu peux accélérer là-bas, mais après toi t'es là, on peut tranquille.
Mais il accélère justement.
Ouais.
Je suis pas en avantage sur les slices.
Alors à ce moment-là, tu restes si tu sens que c'est mieux que tu restes, tu ne pas là. Reste simple. C'est toi qui. C'est à toi de dominer cette diagonale rondelle. Et c'est à toi après de prendre l'opportunité en décalage.
That's the most animated that I've seen. Yeah. Freddie Fontaine in a long time. Of course, former top 100 player from France was Frederick. Topped out at 59 in the world. He's been with Felix for a good 5 or 6 years now. And a constant in the team, even when Tony Nadal came on board. Freddie was there.
I wish I'd paid more attention in French class because I'd love to know what they were talking about. What the tactics were and what he was telling him.
I sensed a little bit of disagreement though, did you or not? In the body language?
Something about a slice, yeah. Definitely asking the question back.
He's got such easy power. It looks like he's not, he doesn't overhit the forehand, does he? It's just a naturally powerful shot and generates so much forward speed with a normal type of swing. Great technique, and those long arms help when you generate racket head speed.
Taylor's done a good job of defending his second serve tonight. We know when he lands that first serve, he's going to win the vast majority of the points. That's been the case, almost 80% this evening in that department.
Game, Team USA.
Can you imagine having a serve like that?
I can't. Flip, what's it like, having a serve like that?
It feels good when it goes in. It's nice to be able to run around, but like you said, guys, it's effortless power in all parts of his game. Well, his forehand, his backhand, and his serve.
He looks so nonchalant, doesn't he? It looks like he's ready for a Sunday afternoon picnic, and yet he's always in position.
Yep.
Well, generally.
His off-the-ball movement is so good. Anticipates the patterns of play well. Fritz, I remember one of his childhood coaches, Christian Groh, who travelled with Tommy Haas for many years. He was with Grigor Dimitrov, who coaches in San Diego. And when he was helping Taylor from 13 to 16, he said he just loved competing and he loved the big moments, even as a youngster.
Well, that's probably an untaught asset, that one.
A heck of a second serve. And he'd come up to the fence when he was playing junior tournaments, and he'll, third set tiebreak, and I say, watch me now, coach. Watch. Just love the big moments. Chris Grove very instrumental in helping learn a teen of late. Brandon Nakashima honed his skills for many years. I think he's one of the best developmental coaches out there. So Felix reduces the arrears and he'll force Taylor to serve it out in set number 1. It's 5-4. Was the champions in inaugural United Cup. Devastatingly good were Team USA. Got a pretty strong team. They're going to be tough to beat. You know, Coco can play great doubles if it comes down to the mixed. This time it's Freddie Fontaine giving a bit more information to Felix. Mark Russell, not saying anything. Just keep doing what you're doing, Taylor. Of course, sometimes the art of coaching is knowing when to say nothing.
No point in filling the gaps if it's not necessary.
Let's see if the boss boy can close out this opening set.
Wow. I do find it interesting that with such long limbs, he times the ball so well. No matter how fast it comes to him, he was just in perfect position really there to hit that backhand. Saw it early and went for the line. Well, he dropped that forehand too short, Taylor. And good play from Felix there to jump on that short ball.
15 all.
I want to see him do that more. Too short. And as soon as you drop that forehand short, the opposition, if they're good enough, should win the point.
It's been a serving masterclass. The accuracy, the variation. He's defended his second serve well. And a nice high percentage of first serves. It's up at 76 now. Let's lay the foundation for these set points.
Game, first set, Team USA.
Simply stunning.
6 games to 4.
That is tennis of the highest quality from first ball to last in this opening set. Fritz bags at 6-4. Set number 2.
15 love. 15 all.
Hey guys, it's, you know, I'm sitting on such a great angle that I could look at the rotation of the ball, the height over the net, and you know, Taylor does such a good job mixing up the play. He's flat in the backhand side. He can hit through the forehand and then give it really super heavy. Some of those slices of Felix were incredibly low, but he handled them well, and that was an impressive point.
Yeah, there's a reason he's ranked number 4 in the world, Mark, isn't it? I mean, he's so safe from back there, but he mixes up the speed and hits the right amount of spin and clearance when he needs to, and then flattens out the forehand when he wants to go for a winner. He's just a naturally intuitive player from the back of the court, that's for sure. Some players have the ability to hit the ball out of the centre of the racket better than others. Yeah, I like that play. We'll take advantage of that after the good first serve.
40-30.
I mean, this is a spinning forehand volley, taking it out of the air. But Mark, I think he needs to work on his volleys more. His regular standard volleys, I don't think he's quite, for a player of his ilk, I think he needs to improve that facet a little bit. And then he could use it more. He could come in a little bit more and have more variety in his game if he. Great try.
I couldn't agree more, Fitzy. I mean, as you said, look at Taylor in the back of the court. He just looks so comfortable, never looks rushed, playing within himself, changing the pace, changing the height of the ball, and then look at that feel off that forehand side where we thought he was going to rip the ball. But Felix needs to, you know, do something different, and it's nothing wrong with a nod serve and volley. We haven't seen one of those off that huge serve of his, and he's going to have to try and finish some points a little bit shorter or try and put some kind of pressure on Taylor.
It's a learned thing, though, isn't it? I mean, it takes time to develop, you know, different shot-making skills, and I think the strategy of playing out points, I don't think there's enough variety. I mean, it's more natural, I think, for Taylor. I mean, you just saw that with that drop shot, but I think if he improved his volleys a bit, Felix, it'd give him some more options, at least.
Lex for serve.
He's a little more one-dimensional right now, but
yep.
There's a lot of upside in his game, like you said, but it's also a confidence thing. If you're not doing it on the practice court, it's tough to do that in a match under these conditions.
Game, Team Canada. First game, second set.
I think if you have a look at the very best players, they really do have that growth mindset, don't they? I mean, I remember Yannick, 2022, US Open. He wasn't scared to come in. He was missing occasionally, but even in that epic match with Alcaraz, he actually came in more than Alcaraz. Already there, just looking to the future.
Yeah. When you mention Yannick in my vintage, I think of Noah. You're talking about Sinner.
Yes.
Oh, I'm with you. I know. But you're right. And
Don't know, but I think he's going to keep serving. On a big point, I think he might change it. But I think the majority is going to
See, even that is I like that because it's Taylor, whether he's right or wrong about his intuition about where Felix is going to go. He's thinking about where he's going to go at a different time or a specific time in a game or a point. So he's thinking about strategy.
15 love.
You know, the other guy's strengths and weaknesses. That's just inbuilt in him, I think. Now, you won't always be right about that, but with Felix, I don't see as much structure. I don't see him building the points the same and necessarily hitting the right ball at the right time enough. Sometimes choosing the wrong shot. But he's a beautiful athlete, and what a ball striker he is, and how good could he be? That's my question. So that wasn't a conventional volley, but that's a ball he's got to make. I mean, he played a good point there, and he came in at the right time. But gee, that was a gift he gave away. I'm not sure you can put that down to technique on the volley because it was high and a little bit awkward in the end. But you got to make that.
The good thing about him this year is letting Taylor know, showing him that he's, you know, willing to come forward and just to get him thinking a little bit something different.
There's where he flattens one out. He sees a gap and then hits it faster from A to B when he sees the opportunity to finish the point.
Yeah, that takes a lot of strength, guys. He made contact well above the shoulders and the strength, and also he has that really extreme grip. But the way he can just flatten that out and get that pace from up there, that's a big hit.
It's okay to know what shot you should hit, Mark, and it's no good if you're not physically capable of doing it. He knows both. Or he's got the physicality and the ability to hit the shot when he knows it's the right one. So that's why he's good.
Left first serve.
Of course, this man made his first Masters 1000 finals this season in Madrid. Did get a little bit of help. Got 2 retirements and a walkover.
Come on. That's unheard of.
It is.
In a Masters series?
Yep.
Gee, go and buy a lottery ticket.
And his retirement was against a pretty good player. Not at retirement, the walkover.
Well, don't keep me guessing, Robbie, because I don't know who it was.
I mean, if you won the lottery ticket and you didn't want to play one player in 2024, who would it be?
Okay,
Sinner.
I've got it.
Yep.
Gee.
So we got the walkover against.
Well, happy days if you're the guy that gets that.
Yeah. He's a nice guy. He deserves it.
Team Canada leads 2-1.
And that was a good game. A strong hold. He's going to lead 2-1 in the second set. Well, why don't we take a look at the Kimberleys? What's the Kimberley region? So much to offer. Beautiful sailing, stunning clear water. So many picturesque walking tracks. Should give and ride camels along the beach there.
It's the colours of the Kimberley, Robbie. And you like your fishing. I know you do. Get up there.
Look at that. Take a helicopter ride. Take in the vistas. That is nature at her finest.
You're from South Africa. You know what a crocodile is.
Yes.
There's a few up there too, but I'm not saying put your foot in the water at the wrong time. I'm just saying go fishing up there. You'll have a ball. It is magnificent country.
She asked, like, what are you guys been doing up there?
Dennis Kudla, part of Team USA there.
Time.
We're sitting just behind Felix there. You can see him in the background. Hands on his knees there. There's Felix's dad. Sam, as Felix visited his dad's birth country. A couple of weeks ago, went to Togo with his now fiance. The length from Taylor Fritz, almost everything in the back half of the court, just suffocating Felix into submission. Well, the touch wasn't great. He almost got himself out of trouble here.
Well, we probably should dwell on the drama of that point a little bit, but I just wonder if Felix practices the volleys and the drop shots enough. I mean, there was no feel on that drop shot, and it just lost him the point. So give him credit. He's trying a bit something different. But you know, you just sense, as good as Felix is from the back of the court, he's not going to win the majority of points from back there. I don't know what that majority is that I think Taylor would win, but it's more than 50%. I know that I suspect. So he's going to need variety, Felix, and a bit of adaptation to some of his. There's the athleticism. We know he's got that. That's pretty spectacular, wasn't it, actually? But I think he does need more variety, generally speaking. And he just come. That was a heck of a shot. I don't know how he made that, and Taylor didn't do enough with the volley. Is this a window? 30 all?
Absolutely.
First time for everything.
What a second serve.
There was.
40-30.
Not a lot you can do about that. He's done well this game, hasn't he, Felix? But that's just too good, really. Second serve right out on both lines, virtually.
Team USA.
Well, great physicality. We've forgotten about the injury now, haven't we? I mean, at least he's there, he's competing, and that was the most physical he's been in the whole match, Felix. Still doesn't break, but he got a little closer.
Just getting back to your point about winning these ground stroking rallies, I just get the feeling he has to redline in order to win.
Good way to describe it, yeah.
And when he did win that second set, when they played indoors, and Chiron mentioned 20 winners, he still only just wins it in a tie break. So the kind of levels we're talking about. That's what Fitzy's alluding to. You've got to find other ways to win the point.
So that's an example of the wrong choice of shot. Should win that point. I mean, a beautiful first serve. Gets the short point. I know he has to skip a long way here, but if he doesn't hit that for a winner, he's gone. So come on, pick the right ball to hit.
I'll tell you, I've got some news for you. We've got Mark Philippoussis, who has snuck over onto the leading bench at the moment. He's changed sides, and I think he's got Coco alongside him.
Guys, I do have Coco here. Sorry, I went to a long point. Let's just see what happens.
That is world class.
Coco's pumped here. First of all, thank you for your time. Congratulations on the first match.
Thanks.
It's always tough to play the first match of the year, but you came out, hitting the ball incredibly well. You must be very pleased with how that went.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how I played today. I knew going in that Layla would be a tough opponent to play for the first match of the year, but overall I'm just happy that with how I managed today.
Also, too, with the way you're feeling, it's not a bad backup to have here at Taylor Fritz, right? You had a pretty good year last year.
Great year.
Not a bad team.
No, yeah, I think one of our strengths is that we have, pretty good, depth, and Taylor's been playing great tennis, and I have full confidence in him today, honestly, and the way he's been practicing. I feel like, he's could beat anybody on any day.
It's also great to see. I see your families here. Have you guys had an opportunity to have Christmas here? Did you get here a few days before Christmas?
Yeah, we spent Christmas here. We got here Christmas Eve, and my brother fell asleep during my match, but I'm happy. I'm happy for the support.
Well, thank you for your time, and congrats on the first match, and good luck for the rest of the event.
Thank you.
He's still got the charm, hasn't he, Mark?
Oh, when you got it, you got it.
He's not listening to us right now, so we can say whatever we want about him. He's not a bad bloke either, we would say down here.
It's a good bit of raw athleticism again from Felix. He's not out of the woods.
No, look, it was the athleticism that won him the point. But I like the structure at least. He didn't quite hit the forehand approach as well as he wanted, and got him into a little bit of trouble, but no one can deny the athleticism.
Front door. A moment of magic from Fritz to get the break in the second.
3 games to 2.
It's 3-2. I mean, how good was this, Fitzy?
Well, he does the right thing. It's the right play. Look how deep Taylor Fritz is in, but maybe he had to take a little bit off that one to give him more time to close to the net. He's a long way back when he hits the approach. It takes an extraordinary shot to win the point from Fritz, but sometimes you've got to hit the ball a little softer to give yourself a little bit more. It's like hitting a serve and volley and taking the speed off, hitting a kick like a Stefan Edberg or a Pat Rafter serve. Give yourself time to get into the net. But he didn't do a lot wrong on that point, Felix, so he was beaten by a better ball.
Slide the big second line. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he served a good game. That's good. All right, the ball is to it.
Time.
I guess if you are going to get broken, you want your opponents to have to do something pretty special in order to get the break. And that was top tier stuff from Taylor. And when we chatted with his coach Mike Russell at the start of this contest, he spoke about the fact that he's continually working on making him a better athlete, a better mover. And it's in moments like that, when all that hard work, when you're training in front of nobody, you can shine in front of everybody with a shot like that.
Reminds me of the Robbie Williams song. Just want you to make me a better man. And he's certainly becoming one of the world's best, isn't he, Taylor Fritz, at this endeavour.
It's pacey, that.
I think that's Min Woo Lee, isn't it?
It is.
Min Woo Lee.
Perth boy.
He can hit a golf ball.
He's not bad. I think he's the second best player in his family, though.
Oh, that's rough. Can we dwell on golf for a second?
Absolutely.
What about Elvis Smiley?
Big shout out to
he's my man. The son of my mixed doubles partner, Liz Smiley.
That's right.
Peter. Just won the Australian PGA. Elvis. That's a marketing name.
No kidding.
He's making some inroads, to his credit, Felix, here. Really physically competing. So good to see that the back's not dwelling as an issue in this match. And he's been to 30 all. Last game in this one. On the Taylor Fritz serve I'm talking about.
I often go on about Fritz's serve because I love everything about it. I love the platform stance, nice and simple. Push off with both legs. I like the way he leads with the left arm. Not too dissimilar from the great Pete Sampras in that department. Really delayed serving on. They're both from California. And I just love the way as well that he just walks up to the line, one bounce, boom.
Yeah.
Doesn't think about it too much.
If you're comparing this with Pete Sampras, that's high praise. There is none higher, in fact.
Not as good as Pete's, obviously, but tell you what, Fitz, it's not far behind. I like what I see.
Well, it was a major part of helping Pete Sampras win 14 major titles. What a player, what an athlete and a player he was. I had a man crush on Pete.
He was a proper ball striker, wasn't he? That running forehand.
Yep, the running forehand.
We send all our best to Pete, and of course his wife Bridget, who hasn't been too well of late. We hope she's doing really well.
Well, I don't think that was the wrong choice to take that out of the air. It's not an easy shot. That was a high lob, but I think to put the ball away, it was worth the risk. I mean, you let that ball bounce, and it's not necessarily going to be easier to put it away. And unfortunately for Felix, he just overplays it. He needed that, didn't he? I'm sort of relieved he's physically okay.
Yes. Just snuck ahead in the ace race as Felix with that delivery. 8-7.
Game, Team Canada.
But he's still playing catch-up. He is down a set and a break against a very much in-form Fritz. Stays nice and upright on contact with the ball, maximizing his height. He's not falling over.
Gets both arms up at a similar time, so a little bit different than the Taylor Fritz motion. But there's a bit more delay, I think, in the right arm. Both good serves. Well, that's an understatement.
I'm sure there'll be a reassessment of his goals this year. Like to add to his Masters 1000 tally. Of course, won his very first one in his own backyard in Indian Wells, a tournament that he went to as a youngster with his folks.
Can you imagine how big it'd be if he did win the US Open? Taylor?
Came pretty close this year. So we need US tennis to flourish. It's so good for the industry. But a fair few women and guys now really cluttering the rankings in the top 20 positions. It's nice. Women have been doing it for decades.
I've had some fair players out of there, haven't they?
No kidding.
So I like that from Felix. I mean, especially if he can be inside the baseline when he hits this shot. He's behind it there and he's good enough still to hit a winner, but he can use that approach much more if he just lifts his volleys by 5, 6, 7%. 10 would be better, but just improve them a little bit and he can go in more. Because against Taylor Fritz, for example, he needs to. Probably not going to beat him often from in a match, over the course of a match from the back. Good. I like that too, and he's happy. Took that early, shortened the swing, by the way, but took it early. So gave Taylor less time to recover after the serve. Really good stuff.
Team USA 5 games to 3.
This is a good forehand, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't smash you in the face all the time about how big and heavy and accurate it is, but he just does it virtually every time.
He's got quite an extreme grip, but you're so right. I mean, the accuracy.
Yeah.
When he gets that first ball that's begging to be hit, he is so good at hitting the corner. And he can go either way.
And he rarely misses.
Yeah. He's been very clinical thus far.
A good feel this time. It does help when you're inside the baseline to attempt that.
15 love.
Just steps in a fraction and gives the ball. Well, it takes less time for the ball to get to where you want it to go there.
30 love.
This is how he served in the first set and a half of his first match. Before it sort of fell apart a little bit.
He's not hitting service winners. It's almost like every rally, Fritz is in it.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I don't have the stats in front of me here, but I'd like to know the percentage number of points that Fritz is winning once the ball's in play and they're in an equal position at the back of the court. What do you think? I think he's winning 60%.
At least.
Yeah, it's just a guess.
Second serve.
Felix has only won 30% of the points behind his second serve in this set. He's going to have to defy the odds here as the Canadian. And he does. And he will force Fritz to step up to the line one more time. 5-4 to the American.
USA lead 5 games to 4.
Always thinking maybe he might go back.
Well, I can tell you in the previous 2 meetings that have both gone the distance, Felix Auger-Aliassime was unable to break the Taylor Fritz serve. He's had 4 break points in total, yet to convert. And this evening, he is yet to fashion a single break point, is Felix, against the American. That's how strong Taylor has been behind his deal. He'll be hoping for one more solid service game to get the W for Team USA. It's the best possible start for Felix. You happy with that shot selection?
Yeah, I'm unsure. I mean, one thing is for sure, if you go for that at that stage, love 15, you've got to make it. Now, this is the closest he's been, I think, all night. 15-30. He hasn't had. He's had a couple of 30-alls in this set, but this is probably the best opportunity he's had while Taylor's serving for the match, in fact. So you've got to make balls here when you need to. Nothing you can do there.
Double digits in the ace department for Taylor now.
He serves well when he needs to, too, doesn't he, generally?
A backhand that seared the line.
I could make an argument, Robbie, that this was almost not the right play. He was way back in the court, wasn't he? It was high risk, but he needs something special to happen, that's for sure, to break serve. Is this it?
First time in 3 encounters, Felix Auger-Aliassime breaks the serve of Taylor Fritz. And all of a sudden, it's game on.
Well, I don't know about you, but I didn't see it coming. I really didn't. He hadn't made any inroads, and then when he missed that backhand at love 15, I thought maybe it was a missed opportunity, but gee, he played some good tennis there.
8 sets of tennis before he was able to convert. It's 5-all. How's the atmosphere down courtside there, Mark?
Robbie, I was literally just about to say that it's safe to say that this crowd wants to see more tennis. I mean, that was an impressive game. As you said, they kind of came out of nowhere, that break, but let me tell you. But everyone is fired up. Felix has just gone to another level. The bench is jumping up. Crowd's gone nuts. I mean, that was excited to see what's to come, but that was very impressive. And I tell you what, Taylor, you know, Taylor was pretty calm considering looking over to his coach, Mike, back to work. But yeah, right now it's taking it to another level.
Adrenaline-fueled game, this. Some pyrotechnic tennis when he needed it most. 6-5, Team Canada, second set.
6 games to 5.
Backhand line for the first time all night. So,
I mean, he played 2 of the same points.
no, he played a good game. I just got to serve a little bit better. I need to serve the second a little bigger. He's standing so close. On the ad, it's whatever. On the ad, it's fine. On the deuce, I need to serve like that second needs to be a lot bigger. It's tough on the certain case the entire match.
Or you could mix it wide as well.
He's so close. That guy. He's been so on that. He's been so on the whole match. I don't really want to do that. Like it's riskier, and I might not even like help him. Could, but not worth it. Fine, you're giving a break.
Guys, I've really enjoyed listening to the conversation of Taylor with Mike, you know, on the side of the court. Just the way they're communicating, it's just so nice and calm. He's not freaking out, you know, he's been up the whole match. It's serving at 5-6, but he's just saying that he just thinks he should go a little bit bigger on the second serve. And Felix is standing a little bit closer, and he just feels like he needs to change things around and starting to get onto his wide serve and maybe go a little bit heavy on the kick. But it's just great listening to a nice conversation between player and coach.
I agree, Mark. There's a lesson there for a lot of players, I think. How to handle some disappointment and move on, but also how to actually converse and communicate with the guy on the side that's trying to help you.
39.
And he has only lost his serve once. He's not out of this set. He's even, actually.
Starting to feel that backhand.
Must be a confidence thing because he's missing less now all of a sudden. He's got a surge of adrenaline and confidence from breaking, and now he's not missing. So obviously he can do it.
It's like the opposite of his first round match. His first match.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't clean. But it was clean enough, and it's such a rare sight. Well, Taylor frames it.
And if this goes to a tiebreaker, Robbie, which it looks like it might, there'll be some drama, you would think, now because of the change of atmosphere. So that's the one he said he had to go bigger with. The second serve, particularly to the first court. Because he said that's what Felix was doing, standing in and attacking the second serve more, and case in point. He's gone to another level, hasn't he, Felix? It's the best tennis easily tonight we've seen from him.
Well, a few more adrenaline-fueled forehands. I mean, look at the depth and the pace, 150 k's an hour. Can't defend that.
Lad for serve.
Just simply stunning. He is redlining now.
Advantage, Canada.
He's got a chance for a second break.
Juice.
That set point quickly snuffed out. Courtesy of ace number 12. Ferociously swift again. How good is the shot making?
Advantage, Team Canada.
Gee, for a moment I thought Taylor had broken his racket, but not so, it seems.
Second serve, Team
After not
Canada.
breaking Fritz in 8 sets, it's back-to-back breaks for Team Canada. And we are going the distance here in Perth.
7 games to 5.
It's all to play for. How about that? 7-5, Felix wins the second.
So I remember clearly what you said earlier in this match, Robbie, about how Felix tends to have to red line, it seems, to beat Taylor Fritz. Well, we saw some red lining there. There was about 8,000 revs going there in the last 3 games. And the question is, can he maintain that level?
Mark, how often do we... Here's a quick look at the win predictor. Still got Taylor as the favourite, but it's been a big swing, 27% swing.
I always find the predictor interesting. Sorry, Robbie. At the start of the match, they were dead even. Now, they're dead even. And there's a 27% difference in the win predictor. Isn't that interesting?
Gorgeous. Fritz, I've told you before, there's only 3 kinds of people in the world. Those who are good at maths and those who aren't.
Okay, I know I'm in the second one.
Oh.
I know you won't believe this. I've got 2 children that are software engineers. How's that?
That's pretty impressive.
They didn't get their mathematics from me.
Just misfired.
First game, final set.
Clearly from Jenny. And I hope she's watching. Well, this has been highly entertaining. And there's a good crowd as well. Thinking of Billy Joel. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The crowd has shuffled in.
Well, this is not a regular crowd.
Tell you what, it's these guys that they are coming to see, to enjoy their tennis for a while. This has been highly entertaining in the last 20 minutes or so. Felix leading for the first time in this match. Got broken in the opening game of the opening set.
And Robbie, Taylor, we've heard him say it, he's verbalised it. He has to go for more on the second serve on the first court because his second serve is being attacked. It caused him to double fault there.
And that's one of the problems when they've played historically is Felix's inability to capitalize on the second serve of Fritz. The first time they played, Fritz won 71% of the points behind his second serve. The second time, 75. Fritz for the match today is down to 46% of second serves won. The biggest inroads have taken place in the last 2 or 3 service games.
Is he picking Taylor's serve better now? I mean, he's returning more effectively, full stop. I mean, that was a 200K serve wide. He was all over it.
Mm-hmm. I just think that's the most remarkable thing about confidence. When you have it, all those things start to happen, Fitzy.
Do you think there'll be a time when someone can learn how to bottle confidence? Be a pretty good product, wouldn't it?
Tell you what, you're a very wealthy individual. Yeah, when you know, you're just in the flow, right? When you've got confidence, you see everything early. Your opponent's shots just seem to be coming to you. Time on the ball. Court looks so big. Always making the right decisions. Mark, do you think back to a time or period when you were just brimming with confidence and you were just in that flow for a match, a tournament, a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, look, we call it the zone, right? Where you're just feeling it, and no matter what you try, just you know you're not going to miss. You know, that second serve you go through, or turn around and smack that forehand. Sometimes you feel like you can read the play. You know, you're in that zone. And I mean, I'm a little stunned, to be honest. I can't say that Taylor has done anything wrong while he was serving for the match. You know, maybe a couple of unforced errors here and there, but Felix has just gone to another level. As you said, you know, RPMs are literally on that red line where you're thinking the engine has got to explode at any stage, but he's maintaining this, and like you said, Fitzy, can he maintain the way he's playing? And right now, he's doing an incredible job by doing that, and the confidence is growing as he's continuing his third set.
Team Canada.
He's won every point in this set when he's landed that first serve. He's been imperious, and it's laying a nice foundation for him as he leads 2-1. Well, Fitzy, what can you tell me about Cape Leveque, north of Broome? In fact, it's the northernmost tip of the Dampier Peninsula. Beautiful red rocks, white sand, of course the famous lighthouse.
Gee, that beach is crowded, by the way.
Oh, so many magnificent stretches of sand. Of course, that beautiful contrast between the white sand and the red rocks.
Gee, you'd get claustrophobic up there, Robbie, wouldn't you? I mean, just crowded off the beach.
No chance.
What a place to go.
And a couple of magnificent service games for the Canadian. And I can tell you, when Felix was playing some of his best tennis, tail end of 2022, when he was cleaning up left, right and centre indoors there. He went 93 service games in a row without being broken. And that's what he can do when he's got a roof over his head, playing indoors like we are this evening. Was winning in Florence, Antwerp and Basel. That serve was a joke how good it was. We're seeing glimpses of that this evening.
So that's at 177 kilometre an hour. Second serve, that's what Taylor has convinced himself that he has to do on that first court, not so much on the second.
And I'm still thinking about what Mike Russell said at the beginning of this match when we interviewed him, and he said the base level of play from Taylor Fritz has been the difference maker this season for him. So far fewer drop-offs, and it will be tough to bet against him. You know he's going to play at an 8, 8.5 out of 10. And the big question is can Felix live with them, continue to live with them?
Game to USA.
And have no drop-off.
I like to say to young players, that you don't want too big a gap. I mean, yes, everyone can play well at times.
Yeah.
But if the drop-off that Mike's talking about is too low, then there's too big a gap because you lose matches because of that drop-off. If you can maintain a good base level and then go up from there, you turn into a pretty good competitor.
And that drop-off only has to happen for a couple of points, Fitzy.
Yeah.
And against top 5 opposition, that'll cost you.
That's just, I won't comment on that drop shot.
And I just want to put into perspective for you. He's seeking his first top 5 win on hard courts since defeating Nadal in 2022, so it has been a while.
See, Mark was confirming what Mike Russell said. He said he didn't see Taylor do much wrong.
Yeah.
So the loss of serve predominantly came from the higher level that Felix went to in those few games. So he still hasn't dropped off. He's still maintained. He's confirming what Mike Russell said. Just doesn't mean you're going to win every set. That's all. But Felix is definitely, I mean, he's serving much bigger and he's getting more short balls now to attack, I think.
Melting into his strings, that forehand at 141 clicks.
Game, Team Canada.
Another very clean service hold. And this is getting tight. 3-2 in the third. That's how we like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not doing much for me to like staying there because he's just hitting the spots way too much.
You love bottoms.
Come on. You go.
Well, he was forced to move forward there by the short, low return, but if you hook it across that way, you give your opponent an opportunity to really penetrate with a forehand. Gee, what a second serve.
15-30.
Well, you've got to hand it to Felix on the returning, particularly on that first court, has been exceptional. I mean, Taylor is now serving consistently at 170 Ks on the second ball there. He needs to get the first serve in on the first court. I mean, what has happened here, Robbie? It's quite an extraordinary turnaround.
15.
And he said it in reverse of his first match.
Two gilt-edged opportunities. What a miss from Fritz. But you've got to give Auger-Aliassime so much credit.
Well, he's finally got through Taylor Fritz and caused that, because that's an unusual miss for Taylor. It's just that Felix has put so much pressure on him in the last half a dozen games, and he finally cracked a little bit there.
Yeah, finally making some good inroads when he got a look at the second serve of Fritz. Started with the first return.
Gee, this is a turnaround of large proportions.
Big question is, can he keep up the serving now that he's in the lead? Tell us, Mark, when you've been playing from behind for most of the match, suddenly you've got the lead now, how that affects the mind.
I mean, I'm sure it's safe to say we're all stunned right now, even the crowd is, but it just shows, you know, you're down a set and the guy's serving for the match, and you're thinking, you know what, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out swinging, and he managed to get that break back, and it's just gone to another level, and now Taylor's the one who's playing out of his comfort zone. Looks like he's rushing a little bit and being forced certain shots that he wasn't hitting literally almost 2 whole sets, and there's no slowing down from Felix. I mean, he's hitting his shots, he's serving, looks nice and relaxed. I mean, it's been an extraordinary turnaround. Like I said, complete opposite of his first round match.
This has been so impressive. Tell you what, this first serve percentage in this set. Fitzy, I see you were looking at it at the same time as me. What is it? Just confirm.
Is that great minds think alike? It's 78% this set. He's gone in total for the match at 67, which is impressive enough. But now he's taken it to a higher level. And that's allowing him to attack on that first ball after the return.
There's one of the first really wayward shots we've seen in the entirety of this third set from Felix.
It's a funny enigma with Felix, so he does that at times, doesn't he? When he misses big. Okay, now I want to see the reaction from Felix. That's a lost opportunity from 40-15. And if there's a question mark, it's possibly how he does play sometimes when he's ahead, Robbie, I think. He's been so good, almost faultless in the last sort of 40 minutes. These are big moments now.
It's a heck of a return from Fritz off that first serve to keep him in it.
Advantage, Team Canada.
Another good service hold. Took the scenic route, but he got there in the end. And he sits down with a 5-2 lead for his Team Canada. And if you are a little tight, how nice is it to have a delivery like that up your sleeve?
Well, he's serving at 77% first serves in this set. And if you go close to the lines with that, there's not a lot anyone can do. And the impressive thing there was he had to suck up that disappointment of 40-15, 2 wayward ground strokes, and he still produced the 2 big serves. That answered a bit of a question.
The serve I started that game with was so good. He like knifes it short. And I hit the volley honestly really well. I catch it right in the tape.
This set he's been serving a little more wide both times. So
hasn't been doing that. Yeah.
Time.
It's a great shot of the team, the player, the moment. It's the beauty of this United Cup. The individual competing in a team atmosphere. And this evening we have been blessed with the best crowd of the 3 days here in Perth. Tennis has been top tier. Taylor serving to stay in it.
Love 15.
Seared the line with his 13th ace.
40-30.
Just thinking about that love 30 points.
Yeah.
It was a little loose, wasn't it, from Felix after making a good, meaningful second serve return.
Juice.
Boys, considering the situation, I mean, Felix is looking very calm.
Out. Advantage, Team USA. Let's listen. Let's listen.
I don't know about you, Robbie, but with my limitations, I always, when I had to go and serve for a match, I almost prefer that I didn't have an opportunity of the game before at love 30. You start dwelling a little bit. He had love 30 there and played a loose shot at love 30 to Felix. Now he's got to go back to the drawing board, and as well as he served, this is a different game. First point, quite enormous here when you're serving for the match.
This is where you've got to be qualified from the neck up. Serving for the match. Perfection. The forehand, magnificently manufactured.
Outside edge. A game of centimetres.
15 love.
I should say in that case, a game of millimetres.
Yep. Such a fine line.
I mean, there's a lot to be impressed about, but at that first point, there's no hesitation. He's continued to go free shots, and he's not slowing down.
Well, he really has been plugged into the mains in this third set. No doubt about that. It's been high-octane tennis. And that's been the foundation.
Well, this is the best turnaround I've seen this summer so far. Robbie, anyway, I'll give him that.
A 19th ace brings up 3 match points. We're not done yet. 2 match points have come and gone.
Thank you.
Match point number 3 for Team Canada. For the first time in his career,
Team Canada.
Felix Auger-Aliassime gets the better of Taylor Fritz. A third set drenched in quality from the Canadian. And it's his first top 5 win on a hard court in almost 2 years. What a turnaround. And he keeps Team Canada in the mix. He squares it up at 1 match each, and we'll go to a deciding mixed. Fitzy, that was some turnaround.
One-on-one sport creates amazing circumstances, doesn't it? And you wouldn't have seen that coming. Not a set and 4-2, or when Taylor served for the match, he hadn't looked like losing serve. And Felix became a different player. He grew wings after he broke back that first time.
I'll tell you, the sport is crazy, right? When you think what happened in his opening match, when he was playing so well, he was up a set in 4-2 against Borna, so in charge of it, turns around, loses it.
Well, I hope you're not looking at me for an explanation, because I don't have one. Robbie, that was extraordinary, on both occasions, but particularly this one, because he was okay. You know, he had the injury issue early on. You know, we thought maybe the match, he might pull up stumps, so to speak, and not finish the match at one stage. But his form reversal was extraordinary. I mean, you don't often see, I mean, you see comebacks, but the difference in form was about as much as you could ever see.
I mean, the quality of the comeback. And you can see how much it means to him after the downer, after losing to Borna Coric when he was so in command of that contest, versus what he must feel like now. And that's what 2 days can do to you. It's always about how you respond, right? The next day and the day after. And what a response tonight from Felix. That was tennis like we saw from him at the tail end of the 2022 season, when he was just sweeping all before him.
You know, I can't help thinking that there's more upside with him. I still don't think he chooses the right shot enough. I mean, his serve in that third set, I think, carried him through beautifully. But what an athlete. He can play, can't he? He really can.
He certainly can play. Let's hear what he's got to say. He's down courtside with Mark Philippoussis.
Well, Felix, that was quite an extraordinary turnaround. What was the mindset when you're down a set, you're down 5-4, you haven't had one break point for the whole match, haven't been really close in touching your serve? What were you thinking about in that game?
Yeah, it was a crazy night of tennis. So far it's not over, but yeah, it was a really great match. I mean, started slow with my first service game, but then after it was a really high level from Taylor as well. And I think it's just trying to find ways tactically, changing my positions on the return and until the end. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to step in closer, try to dictate from the first shot, and it worked. It worked perfectly. And then from that point on, the match kind of turned in my favor.
It was interesting you said that you made some adjustments, especially on the second serve, moving up, and then I could hear Taylor talking to his coach about that, and you started to put the pressure on, and your confidence went to another level. When, you know, compared to that first match, to turn that around, I mean, number one, let's hope, are you okay as far as your back? What was the issue there?
Yeah, I had some issues late last season, and then I felt a pinch, so yeah, I was a bit worried for a second. So yeah, it's kind of a crazy night because I wasn't looking good early in the match, and then credits to the physio for the treatment, for the massage there. So that's clutch from him, and you know, at the end, you know, I've started feeling better and better physically. But like you mentioned, you know, the adjustments I think tonight were huge, and I think that's what made a difference in the end.
Now, also tell me the role that the energy, I mean, this crowd, the atmosphere was amazing tonight. I mean, feeling out there, not only in your box, but that must help you in a situation like this turn things around, right?
No, well, late in the second set, you guys were amazing, and you know, until the end. And no, thanks for that. I mean, I love playing tennis. I was enjoying myself tonight on the court, but to play in front of a packed crowd, to play in front of you here in Perth, it was a real pleasure. So yeah, I'm going to remember this match, you know, for the rest of my season going forward.
Well, it's not a bad way to start the season. One last question. Let you go back and get some rest. Are we going to see you for the mixed doubles? How are you feeling?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'm feeling pretty good right now. So I think, yeah, we could use, you know, the momentum that I've built so far on this court, and we can use that, I think, going into the mix. So, yeah, I think I'll see you guys in a few minutes, actually.
Well, I'm sure we're all excited to hear that news. Congratulations, and get back to your team. Thank you, Felix.
Oh, what a smile, and how good it must feel after suffering a tough loss in his very first match of the season. Bounce back with considerable aplomb to bag a top 5 scalp. It's been 2 years since he's done that on a hard course, so that a real meaningful win. Just great mental attitude. And final look at the numbers, Fitzy.
Well, the serving from Felix, you know, particularly in the last set, was quite extraordinary. I mean, it's only showing at 66% there, which is a good number, same as Taylor, by the way. We know he's a great server, Taylor, but in the last set, it was around 80. And then, of course, he was winning a high percentage of those because he was serving close to the line. I think that carried him through. It gave him the confidence, or I don't know which came first, the confidence or the serving, but he certainly was brimming with it at the end. And his tennis in the last close to an hour at the end of the match was just a different level to what he was earlier. Wow, a great turnaround, and pretty special to see a guy do that, you know, in this sport. You're down, you're nearly out, but there's always hope, especially in this game of tennis.